is through um, hyper asset pricing, and we only get hyper asset pricing through super low rate cuts, cheap money flowing around, and cheap money being invested into the market, real estate, uh, private equity, and all of that. Like, just imagine how SpaceX become public a few days ago and the valuation SpaceX get. I think that's going to be the norm. It's not going to be as extreme. That, like, new IPOs are not going to be as extreme as SpaceX, but who knows? Anthropics is probably coming out, and OpenAI is probably going to IPO soon, and those valuations are pretty hefty as well too. But I think this hyper valuation um, for private companies coming public is going to be the norm. That's what's going to be the norm. So listen, guys, I know you expats and digital nomads out of the country are saying now, wow, we leave America and America is booming, but there's still time to come back home and stop getting robbed over there in some of those countries. But I've seen a lot of you guys, like, and I'm not saying I don't say it myself. Like, the States is rough, but there are opportunities here, and I see a lot of you guys are totally, completely shit on the United States and leave and getting into these countries overseas, and you all get there and think you can continue and operate the way how you operate here in the States. But after a certain period of time, you guys get caught up, getting robbed, getting beat up, and sometimes, the unfortunate is sometimes you end up getting killed. But you have to know what you're doing when you go into some of these places. Like, I saw that a guy, a famous, he called himself a passport bro, but a famous YouTuber, he just got robbed in Thailand, and and he was one of them that tell he was one of them telling people that they should definitely leave the States and go to Thailand, and because it's the new coming, it's the new Wakanda, I guess it was. I don't know, but and I'm not listen, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't explore your options, but what I'm saying is don't be shitting on America too much, man, because listen, if it's one thing you shouldn't do is bet against the American consumer and the American process and the American way of life, because the world economy is tethered to the United States economy, and whatever United States do, the world follows suit. We are the pace setter, we are the trendsetter. Yes, it's shitty here at times. It's messed up here. It's the political spectrum is crazy here. Uh, a lot of people claim, like, but you have opportunities here, and I'm not saying there are not opportunities elsewhere, because I see opportunities in all different places that I really would like to capitalize on. But there are great opportunities here where you could really excel and do things the way how you want to do it and capitalize on and stuff, you know. But you have to be careful of how you're doing it. You have to be vigilant. You have to look. Listen, two things run the United States, in my opinion. I think the stock market run the United States, and the American consumer run the United States. Those two things run the United States. And depending on where the money is flowing, you have to align yourself that way. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of uncertainty out there now about future jobs and all this and all that, and coding taking away jobs, um, and stuff. But when there's a will, there's a way. There's a will, there's a way. But I'm telling you, there are. I would live outside of the United States, but I wouldn't trade the United States system for any other system. And I'm talking the capitalist system. I wouldn't trade that for any other system. And how, like, listen, just just think for a second. Like, look how capital flow in the United States. We have the deepest, most liquid, and most vast capital markets in the world. Like, and it almost operates 24. Well, yes, you could say operates 24/7 because people be trading futures after the markets close and whatever it is. But we have the vastest, the deepest, the most liquid capital markets in the world. I wouldn't trade that for anywhere else. Yes, I would live outside of the United States and actually dabble inside the United States market. Yes, I'll do that. But to set up shop and totally forget about the United States, else shut up shop elsewhere and totally forget about the United States, and don't dabble in the financial system here, and don't dabble in the AI and the technology system here, is absolutely crazy. You can't do that. There's no way you can do that and become successful as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, or whatever it is. No way. Everyone plays ball with the United States. Everyone, at some level or not, or at some level, everyone plays ball with this country. This country is the capital system of the world. We finance the world. We run the world. Everything run through. Like, listen, every transaction touch or run through the American um, system, transactional vein. Does that everything. So the story is, should you digital nomads and passport boys and expats who are living in some of these Southeast Asian countries or Latin America come back home? So it depends what you guys want.